Hello and welcome back to another geopolitical analysis on my channel. If you are new here, I'm a journalist, broadcaster and a media consultant based in Bangladesh. In today's video, we'll discuss the complicated geopolitical situation Bangladesh finds itself entangled in trying to find a middle ground between two regional giants in Asia, namely China and India. The official foreign policy of Bangladesh is friendship towards all, malice towards none, a most noble and idealistic principle to be sure, and one which has allowed Bangladesh to find a unique space in geopolitics, where several powerful nations who are otherwise diametrically opposed to each other come to Bangladesh to do business and make investments. Bangladesh is playing a very careful balancing act, which has been largely successful so far, as it cannot be said yet that the nation has fallen in with any one side of the current power struggle between the East and the West. Bangladesh's ruling Awami League government has prioritized infrastructure development over the last 15 years. It has resorted to finance most of the infrastructure development by leveraging Bangladesh's impressive economic growth and also by taking on enormous amounts of foreign debt. Both China and India have made significant investments in Bangladesh by providing loans to finance the development of roads, bridges, railways, ports, and power plants all throughout Bangladesh. Undoubtedly, China is in a massive lead in this kind of investment. During Chinese President Xi Jinping 2016 visit to Bangladesh, a memorandum of understanding was signed, which included 27 projects worth of USD 20 billion. So far, one project has been completed and 8 are ongoing, according to a recent report in the media. Some of the biggest Chinese-funded projects are the Padma Bridge rail link construction, the Dhaka-Ashulia elevated expressway construction, and the expansion and strengthening of the power system network under the Dhaka Power Distribution Company. India has also joined the fray with its own batch of investments in Bangladesh. According to media reports, New Delhi has extended 4 lines of credit to Dhaka the last 8 years, amounting to around $80 billion for the development of infrastructure in various sectors, including roads, railways, shipping, and ports. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Hasina inaugurated 3 Indian-assisted development projects last year, which include the Akhaura-Agartala cross-border rail link, the Khulna-Mongla port rail line, and Unit 2 of the Moitri Super Thermal Power Plant in Rampal. By taking on lines of credit from China and India, Bangladesh hopes to build up the infrastructure that will facilitate enough economic development in the long run to pay off the long-term debt. However, there are many issues at play that might complicate this straightforward plan. The main issue here is that the government of Bangladesh is deemed a hybrid regime where the electoral process is flawed and those in public office are often not adequately accountable to the people. Bangladesh also struggles with corruption and a lack of fiscal transparency in its economic affairs. Many claim that Bangladesh's key selling point, its year-over-year GDP growth, is an overly inflated figure that might not represent the real economic situation in Bangladesh. Therefore, economic decisions such as taking on such massive loans might severely damage Bangladesh's economic condition in the long run. This kind of unwise economic deals is amplified by the nature of Chinese financing, which is fully dependent on supplier credit. In the case of Chinese credit, there is no option for selecting from a pool of bidders through a tender process. The Chinese government picks the contractors for the project during negotiations. The contracting business determines the cost. This frequently raises doubts about the expense and quality of the job. Furthermore, the payback period for Chinese loans is likewise relatively short. The loan must be repaid within 10 to 15 years without a grace period. That implies the amount of each installment is considerable, putting pressure on debt repayment. Such unwise financial decision making is also clearly demonstrated in the form of the Adani Godda coal power plant deal with India. Bangladesh will spend about 11.01 billion USD to import 1,496 megawatts of energy from the Adani Godda thermal power plant throughout its 25-year lifespan, according to research co-published by the Bangladesh Working Group on External Debt and Indian Growth Watch. According to media report, the money that is being paid to Adani Group as capacity payment under the power purchase agreement is enough to pay for the construction of 3 new Padma bridges. The flawed nature of the deal was highlighted in a recent Al Jazeera investigation where, according to the deal, Dhaka would pay much higher costs for lower grade coal than it does for other coal-based power sources. That coal will be delivered from an Adani-owned mine in Australia to an Adani-owned port in India, where it will be transferred to the Godda factory, which is a coal mining operation. Aside from that, analysts point out that Bangladesh is not benefiting from the tax exemption that Adani Power Limited received when its Godda facility was designated a special economic zone. Bangladesh is not getting any benefit from the tax exemption, according to the report. Such red flags were raised years earlier when the US-based Institute of Energy Economics and Financial Analysis published a report in 2018 titled Adani Godda Power Project, Too Expensive, Too Late and Too Risky for Bangladesh. In the report, it was stated that the project was clearly designed to benefit Adani and is, at least in part, an attempt to prop up Adani Enterprises' troubled Carmichael coal project in Australia. The Bangladesh government perhaps thinks that taking on such expensive deals from China and India may reduce its dependency on any one regional power. I wrote in an article once that for a developing country, geopolitics is almost always a losing game. The more the country attempts is to modernize and develop, the more dependencies it has to step into. The calculation then becomes a question of damage control. But to do that calculation properly, the country's leaders need to have the people's best interest as the primary condition. Right now, it is not entirely clear yet whether these kind of expensive deals by Bangladesh are a well-calculated risk to benefit the people of Bangladesh or to benefit only a few vested interest groups and a few powerful individuals. Thank you for listening to my analysis of the current geopolitical situation in Bangladesh. I hope this video gave you some insight into the real situation in Bangladesh at the moment. If you have any thoughts and opinions regarding today's topic, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. Thank you again. Take care and stay safe.